The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
A very good morning, our listeners and viewers as well. You're welcome to Haske TV Breakfast Show. As always, I don't do this alone. My name is Peripetus, and I have our colleague here with me, Shatima and Lafia. Yeah, they are in the Liga. Baka shiny and the cassava shiny.
Wallahi wannan na tashi da babban rashi. Wallahi wani babbana ko wanda shi kadai ne ya saura a duniya wanda yake da uwa da uba da mahaifina, to Allah ya mishi da su a can Abuja, wanda ya dan kwana biyu yana jinya. To shine yau din kika ga na tashi jikina ya yi sanyi hakan nan.
A gaskiya ai ko da ka warasuwa ka in ba da ya faru da kai ba ba za ka gane ba a lokacin insha Allah kuma ya huta. So we are all, like I said earlier, we're welcome to Haske Breakfast Show. Okay, we apologize for that great transition to technical issues. Now, as I was saying before the break, I have right here Punch newspaper, which the lead headlines here is newly acquired presidential jet flown to South Africa. And then moving forward, Tinubu, Trump world leaders congratulate American pope. Yes, we have a new pope.
He's from America.
Yes, it's an American. Nigeria taps additional $250 million World Bank loan for palliative. On page 10, we have Almakura Masari mobilize CPC block for Tinubu. Now, moving forward on still Punch newspaper, on page 7, we have DHQ links foreign herdsmen Benin pled to killings. We have to talk extensively about this one. Then moving forward on LP crisis, that's Labour Party crisis. Akpabio turns Obi as OT demands Abore's arrest. This is on page 7 and 8 of Punch newspaper. Then we still have issues lingering around Wigwe plane crash. U.S. helicopter firm may face criminal charges. Now, moving forward, LP vows to defeat APC in Lagos local government poll. UK police recover Nigerian teenagers caught inside liquid. We have a lot of issues of Nigerians dying or being killed in UK. So this is one of such cases. And moving forward, market has warned federal government against Haske fuel importation ban. All right. Now let's move forward to the next newspaper, which is Vanguard. The lead headline on this newspaper: Tinubu Trump Obi favors of emergence as Pope. Um, Moving forward, described as Abga Soludo adopts Tinubu. Hey, now moving forward, gunmen block Okigwe Road, kill travelers, burn several vehicles. Senate stands still for late Edwin Clark. These are many more on Vanguard newspaper. We'll now before we go on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper, we have discourse records 78% collection efficiency despite supply hiccups. Moving forward to the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline: How poor power supply is affecting healthcare. This is on page 3 and 6 of Daily Trust. Now another headline here. Solido backs Tinubu for 2027, says Abga APC ideological allies. Well, let's see. I've not personally heard Tinubu declaring that he'll come out for the next election, but then with everything with every detail and every hint here and there, we believe that Tinubu will see definitely. Now, despite clearing $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan, Nigeria still owes IMF 190 billion naira. Wow. All right. Katsina government elders biker over president's visit. Now, moving forward, high expectations as favors emerge Pope. I think almost all the newspapers today have the news of the Pope. This is where we'll have to move to Nigerian Tribune, where foreign headers, the lead headline says, foreign headers behind attacks on communities. 2025 UTME result consistent with 12-year trend. This is coming from JAM, and it's on page 12 of Nigerian Tribune. How Osun attained 7th position in national examination rating, Adeleke. This is on page 22 of still on the Tribune newspaper. Pope Leo the 14th era begins. How Robert Francis favors first American Pope emerge. Solido says Abga has adopted Tinubu for 2027. Okay, still on the Tinubu's issues. All right, Awolowo's 38th memorial anniversary and patronal service holds today in Ikenne. This is on page 3 of Nigerian Travel. So it's been more since the days of Awolowo, and then this is like today is the 38th memorial anniversary. Now, Shetima going through these headlines and front pages. There's this okay. Let's quickly talk about the new pope. We have a new pope in town, and then this is the first American pope, or the first pope of American origin, and then this is like a dream come true, for especially for Catholics or and Christians around the world. We have waited since the death of Pope Francis. We have been expecting, and then since Wednesday, the cardinals in Rome have actually gone into isolation, which is called the conclave, to actually come up with a new pope. And then Nigerians, particularly, not just Nigerians, anyway, everyone around the world has been expecting, because there is a chimney that we're expecting to smoke. Once saw that black smoke, which everyone thought, why is it taking long for us to have a pool? But then later, I think yesterday around between 5:30 to 6, we saw the white smoke, which was actually transmitted live. We saw the white smoke, and then behold, there was an announcement, and the white smoke means there is a new pope. So there was an announcement, and then the entire world was watching and expecting the emergence of this new pope through a small window at the at Rome. And finally, we had a new pope who came out through the window, and then we could hear sound of everyone was literally jumping and excited that there was a new pope from Pope Francis, who is from the order of Saint Augustinian, like Saint Augustinian priest. And then he chose, normally once a pope is selected like that, aside your own given name, you get to choose a name from the past popes. And then this only means that when I'm choosing, let's say Shetima was the pope, and I decide to choose Shetima. Now, the work you have started, I will continue. This past pope was regarded as the green pope. Now, this one cares about nature, cares about immigrants, and so anyone who is coming after that will choose this past pope will have to go with his the work he has done while he was alive. So this new pope, Robert, has actually chosen to call himself Pope Leo the 14th. We have had Pope Leo the first, second, third, down to he is the 14th in line. So he will follow the footsteps of previous Pope Leos and the mission that they were.
Pope Leo's last year
No. This one has chosen from others.
Okay.
Yes, from others.
Pope Francis na gaskiya ban san kin san ban san abubuwan Pope ba, amma gaskiya bayan rasuwarsa an yaba da kyawawan halayensa sosai, musamman ma duniya baki da sun yaba da yadda yake kokarin kawo zaman lafiya a duniya baki daya. Ban san shi ba, ban san yanayin yadda ake gudanar da abubuwan din ba, amma gaskiya ya samu kyakkyawan yabo bayan rasuwarsa. Har da zan ce wannan ma ya ɗauki sunan shi fa. Allah magana gaskiya don wallahi na ga post sama da guda 50,000 akan pop, akan mutum ne wanda ya yi sayuwan daka, ya jajirce wajen ganin samun tabbacin an samu zaman lafiya a duniya baki daya. Duk inda ake samun tashin hankali zai yi iya kokarin sa ya shiga ciki don ya tabbatar da cewa an kawo zaman lafiya. To abun da yake damun duniyan din baki daya kenan daidai. To kin ga haka mutum ne wanda za a yaba masa sosai, sannan kuma za a kyautata tsammani wanda yanzu aka zaba ma ya maye gurbinsa ta wannan bangare, ko da kuwa ce zai kawo wani abu, wani tsari daban shi ma, amma dai ya tabbatar da cewa bai wasar da wancan kokarin da Pope Francis ya yi lokacin da yake raye don tabbatar da zaman lafiya a duniya baki daya ba. Ya ci gaba da wannan, sannan kuma sai kawo sabbin abubuwa nashi. Kin san kowa da yanayin mulkinsa, kai ba lallai bane yadda kai mulki in ka tafi wani zo yi irin haka ba, amma duk wasu legacies da ka bari mai kyau ya kamata a ce ci gaba daga inda ka tsaya in har ana so a gudu tare a tsira tare.
So we from yesterday to this morning, congratulatory messages have been flying into the Vatican on the new election of the Pope. We also saw our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also send his congratulatory messages to the new Pope. We saw Trump and every other world leader. Also in Taraba too, we saw our governor, Dr. Kifa, send his own congratulatory message. And even us from Haske Television, we send our sincere congratulations to the newly elected Pope, the Christendom and the Catholic world everywhere. So congratulations, and we are excited and we share in this joy. Now moving forward, Shetima, I think on 2 newspapers we saw where it was pointed out that foreign headers are behind the attacks in communities. Recently we've experienced attacks in Benue State and Plateau State as well. So now there's a headline saying foreign headers are behind these attacks is coming by the HQ. Shetima, how possible? How possible? Foreign headers from which country? How did they get in? How did they get in and pass many states? Exactly. And these states that are being attacked, if you check on the map, they are not border states. Then I'll say, okay, probably no, this is central, like this is the middle of Nigeria. They're talking about. They're talking about Benue State. You're talking about Plateau State. So how possible? If you decide to tell me that okay, these attacks are done in states like Maiduguri, yes, all these states, all these border states, yes, exactly. Even Taraba, even fine. But I do not understand the logic of states in the middle of the country. They're right in the middle. Let me use the word in the middle. And then there are foreigners coming in to attack the states. And then how did they pass from the border? How did they pass other states to get to the center of the country to launch an attack? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. It speaks a volume. Even if these people are foreigners, of which until proven, I really don't want to believe. But what happened? It means our security is questioned. Like there's a question mark on security of everyone in the country. So I don't know if you have more explanation or more things to say about this.
Gaskiya bai yi ba abu ne wanda hankali zai kama ba beri kamar yadda kika faɗa ne yayi wannan state da abubuwan da ke faruwa ba wai suna boda da wasu countries ba inda a ce hakan ya faru a ce ko a Maiduguri ko a Katsina suna boda da su Niger ko Adamawa suna boda da Kamaru ko Taraba ma akwai dan boda da Kamaru ta can yankin Gembu. To amma dai a ce wai Benue Plateau kuma a ce wai foreigners abun bai yi ba in har foreigners ne hakan din yana nuna lalacin jami'an tsaro kenan. Muna da immigration su ne suke da hukuncin tantance waye zai shiga waye zai fita. Yawwa ka gani su tabbatar da cewa sun san kai waye ne daga ina ka fito ka zo Najeriya me ya kawo ka wa'adin kwanaki nawa za ka yi kamun ka tafi. To in har aka ce haka to kenan ya nuna ai akwai lalaci ko kuma kalubale da su suke facing wanda ba su yin aikin su yadda ya kamata. Wanda haka kowane boda za ki samu ba immigration kawai ba akwai joint tax force, akwai immigration, akwai customs, za ki samu akwai soja, akwai civil defense, akwai police da ma sauransu. To bai kamata a ce duk wani wanda zai shiga sai sun duba lasisinsa su tabbatar da cewa me zai kawo shi me zai zo yi sannan kuma wa'adin da zai yi a Najeriya. To kin ga hakan din in har aka ci gaba da faɗan wai foreigners sai wannan koma bayan Najeriya ne baki daya. Sannan kuma abin kunya ne ga jami'an tsaro ga gwamnatin Najeriya baki daya. A cewa wasu su zo daga kasan waje wanda suna nan kalilan duk wanda za su yaga za ki samu kalilan ne da population da muke da su a Najeriya. Kalilan ne in kin duba yanayin jami'an tsaro da muke da shi. To kuma su zuwa su samu tasiri suna yin wannan abu kuma har ka cewa foreigners sai wannan kaman
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because if you think deeply, Nigerians do not freely travel to other countries without scrutiny at the airport and once it is mentioned that this one is a Nigerian, there's this extra care those at the airports used to give to Nigerians because we are believed to be we have a tag out there. And then if you check other developed countries, other countries around the world, they do not allow, take for instance the United States. You dare not, there's no way you will enter the United States just like that. Even if you succeed in entering, they will find a way and fish you out and deport you back to your country. But I think Nigerian, when it comes to security, immigration issues, and all this, we are too relaxed when it comes to it. You find out a lot of people just come in anyhow. And I've been buying for you, come here, there are many routes that these people enter, and then you find out that this person does not even have permits to stay in this country. So it's just heartbreaking. I wish we can actually, just like we're being treated when we go to other parts of the world, I wish Nigeria can make it more strict again when it comes to people invading this country. Now, talking about this, it reflects back to my memory to the issue of Ebola then. It was a foreigner that brought it here. And then you cannot, honestly, at that point, at that period of the Ebola rumors, you cannot go into any country without them scrutinizing you before you enter health-wise. But because Nigeria is just there, this guy just came in like that, and before you know it, go in Aya Amsa. Yes. So I think when it comes to security, when it comes to immigration issues, Nigeria is not really strong. They are not paying attention to these things. So and then this and we have an issue of saying that the attacks was launched by foreigners, which does not really make sense. You know that it's foreigners. Then what have you done? How did they get in? And what are you doing about it? How do you stop this from happening in the future? But then we, like the ordinary Nigerians or the normal Nigerians, we always pray for the best. Moving forward, we have another headlines of how poor power supply is affecting healthcare. I do not know, Shatima, if you have read narration of a man from Niger State who lost his wife due to poor power supply in healthcare, actually in Niger State, where they were on a surgery on the wife. There was a power outage, and the hospital started wanted to start a generator. Before you know it, the generator did not start. They had to go and call a mechanic, and the wife was still. And then this is a surgery that happened for almost 12 hours because there was power failure, and then the generator refused to start. They had to go and call the mechanic, and there's a patient already that already had regard. And then when one of the doctors came out, how the husband was now asking, Alpha, they said, oh, you should not worry, they have lights, that they have a small light that they can actually, that they're working on, Before you know it, finally, they were done with the surgery, I think late in the night or thereabout. They brought out the wife. Normally, I think they had series of operations like that, surgeries like that. And the man said every patient was lying down calm, but his wife seemed to be in pain. She was just, her countenance was just different from any other person that underwent that surgery that day. And then I think there was something that was supposed to attach to her to be draining waste. And then all he could see was blood in this. He now called the attention of the nurse. See, there's a blood and all that. The nurse came and he said, according to him, he said he feels she was inexperienced also because there was no qualified qualified hand around there. It was just the nurse there that was staying over for the night. So I think she came and did some adjustment and a lot of stories, complications. And then he could see blood in this container. She was saying, no, it's the waste. He was checking around, and then any other person's waste in that container was not as bloody as his wife's own. Before you know it, before morning, she died. And this reflects the poor, what is it called, power supply that always affects our healthcare systems in Nigeria. Now, some time back there was a story of some people who came with their patients, but there was no light in the hospital and there was no fuel in the generator. They had to go back home to bring their own generator to the hospital. Now, Shetima, in this kind of situation, like if there's anywhere in Nigeria, normally we're not even supposed to, as we have developed beyond us experiencing the power outage in Nigeria. We have grown. Giants of Africa have now. I said, okay, where in my house, we just get like 4 hours a day, and that is all. 4 hours a day, and that's all in another day. But we have grown past this. Even countries, African countries that calls us giants of Africa, enjoy electricity more than us. Nigeria. And they're looking at us as big brothers. But we cannot steady power supply. We say no. Now, let's say we have accepted that okay, we should be having the power outage here and there. Not in the hospital. Because the hospital needs lights for almost everything. Almost everything. So now, narrowing this conversation down to a time where I had a relative in the hospital, and then this relative is diabetic, and then there's insulin, one medication that is used for injecting a diabetic patient to actually, boost insulin. This insulin needs to be in the fridge, anywhere cold, all the time, so that it will not spoil. We bought it, I think in a week, we bought insulin about 5 times because there was irregularity in power supply in the hospital. Because if you keep it in the fridge, and to my fridge, like before you know it, is already important because heat I spoiled it. This is a hospital. And then this is my own experience. There are other people out there, like in the same hospital, experiencing one power supply issue or the other. Hospital need power supply for mortuary. They need it for surgeries. If you're in the hospital, the last thing you want to, as a patient, you want to experience is heat. Even the patients need that. So Shatima, these are
even lab my
they need it. Every sector of in the hospital, every section needs light. But this is where we are when it comes to issue of anywhere in the world, anywhere in Nigeria, there should be light. But you see hospital. So Shatima, I have my own experience when it comes to this issue of light in healthcare system, and then how issue of not having light is affecting it. What I do not know, what you have to say about this.
gaskiya kusan kin faɗa wa ganin duka abun ba daɗi kwata-kwata don in kin duba kamar yadda kika faɗa almost kowane part na asibiti yana buƙatar wutar lantarki wani kwata ya za a ce wai an sa mutum ana mishi tiyata sannan kuma a samu wannan ya kamata a ce ko da a ce akwai nepa yanzu mun saba da nepa ne kowa APC ko da a ce akwai wutar lantarki ma'ana ya zama da kuna da standby generator ne kuma ya kamata a ce every day a rinka checking lafiyar generator ba wai sai yanzu za a kunna sai develop problem saboda kuna neman abun da wayali mara lafiya kuma yana kwanci ba ya kamata apart from daily duba lafiyar generator ya kamata kuna da backup generator ɗaya biyu yana zo na standby da mai da komai despite kuna da wutar lantarki da kuma sauran abubuwan bai kamata a ce kayi wasa da rayuwar ɗan adam ba yanzu yin mijin matan nan ya zai ji kenan kuma dole ne ba zai ji daɗi haka ba sannan gaskiya maganan wuta kam akwai problem sosai zaki samu wuta da ruwa beri yana ɗaya daga cikin basics abubuwan da mutum na rayuwa in kana da wuta 24 hours kana da ruwa to wannan shine zaka dan ka dauki sabbin jin daɗin rayuwarka kamun ka neman me zaka sa a ciki to amma gaskiya abun bai yi daidai ba sai da kawai mu ce wanda ka riga ta rasu Allah ya ji kanta sannan kuma akwai yiwuwar a biyar da hankali da ganin cewa an gyara wannan abubuwan wannan shi ne zaka
I think that Nigeria again on this aspect, just like you said on the aspect of immigration and all, when it comes to the power sector, Nigeria should be better. Nigeria should be better because if low-key, if you talk to people who have experience in your stuff, when there was somebody when like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we wake up every day and you go online, or through the pages of newspaper and you find out that Nigerians are who are challenges of the other when it comes. These are things that we shouldn't be having issues with. There's a joke out there that someone said his niece and nephew came from America to Nigeria, and that's the first time of coming. And then all of a sudden they back to play, and they're like, my eye, I can't see. I said,
I never see anything.
So you see, please, let's not be putting ourselves in that position. That it's clearly a joke, but then Nigerians we tend to use what is happening to us to make a subtle comedies about it. So please, we don't want to experience where our neighbors will come from, or our colleagues or our friends will come from abroad, and then NEPA will take lights in it and they think they're gone blind when it's not right. All right, we'll take a short break. This is where we'll take a short break to sip a cup of tea or cup of coffee. But we'll be back in a jiffy. Please stay with us.
converted to Islam, giving kids the deen, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still on a back, but it's all good.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee (FSRCC), in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC), wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators (IFOs), which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
welcome back from that shooting. If you are still with us, this is Haske Breakfast Show with myself, very producer, my colleague here, Shetima Jidiri. So we had a lot to discuss before the break, but then I think Shetima has a news story for us from a local story here in Taraba State. Shetima, I heard that the Taraba State government has actually um, ordained, right? That is the word of the new Hajj officials. I don't know if you can give us more.
kamar yadda kika faɗa jiya da gwamnatin Taraba State sun naɗa team ma'ana team da za su jagoranci mahajjatan jihar Taraba inda kuma shi Fantizin Alhaji Suleiman Ibrahim ya samu shi ne Amirul Hajj ɗin wanda shi gwamnan jihar Taraba ya bashi akan shi ne zai zama shugaban mutanen Taraba zuwa hajji wanda kuma hakikanin gaskiya abu ne wanda an saba yin shi kowane shekara za ki samu mahajjata suna zuwa ƙasar Saudiya a daidai wannan lokacin su je su yi ibada sannan bayan sallah sai su dawo to ba da yadda za a ce za a tafi kamar da babu shugabanci a ki samu kowane tafiya da ake yi akwai shugabanci akwai da za a samu nasara akwai sauran members a cikin tim ne wanda abin da ya fi mayar da hankali bawa wannan Alhaji Suleiman Ibrahim Suleiman shi Fantizin wato mai martaba sarkin Sin kenan kuma hakan ne yana da tasiri don in za a ba da shugabanci abin da ya shafi irin wannan abu ya kamata a bawa sarakunan gargajiya don kin san sarakunan gargajiya mutane ne wanda already suna da mabiya kuma suna faɗa a ji ko mutane ne masu daraja a cikin al'umma wanda Allah ya ɗaukaka so idan aka ba su suka zama nuna hajji na za samu duk wani abun da suka ayyana duk wani abun da suka ce a yi to ana samun mabiya sosai kuma an san dai su Allah ya ɗaukaka daraja su sannan kuma shi gwamnan jihar Taraba Dr. Bukefas gaskiya ya yi abin da ya dace don ba wa shi Alhaji Ibrahim Suleiman Fantizin a Mirul Hajj ne sannan kuma za ki samu a duk wani lokacin da ake zuwa hajji akwai matakan da ake bi akwai lectures da ake yi akwai wayar da kai da ma sauransu because kin san kasar Saudiya ba kamar Najeriya ba ce ba kamar sauran kasashen duniya ba dole ne in ka je ibada kan nan akwai wasu abubuwan da ake son ka yi akwai wanda ba a son ka yi ka je ibada ne akwai yadda yanayin abubuwan da za ka yi a can ma kamun nan ibada ka tabbata ka cika so an ba wa mutum abin da za ka ba nan dole ne zai organizing lecture wayarwa mahajjata kai da sauransu kusan da yawa za su je wurin ne for the first time za su je wurin ne for the first time masu ma taɓa zuwa ba wani tun da Allah ya halicce shi bai ma taɓa zuwa airport ba ke bai kin sha tafiya a jirgi kin san yanayin process na maybe kamun ka shiga jirgi ma kawai za ka je ka canja da receipt kai kaza ana announcement ba kowa ne ke turanci ana announcement ana an fara boarding kai kaza za ka zo da kayakin ka ke da akwai challenges da yawa da farin ranar da aka yi kicking off zuwa haji har ranar da za a dawo akwai challenges so kin ga approaching na team wanda za su kula da wannan abin yana da muhimmanci sosai because su za su tabbatar da cewa su ne dukkan mai yiwuwa ko ganin cewa ba a samu matsaloli da yawa ko wani kisan jirgin da ke kan mutane haji jirgin ba kawai ka gani sai ka saurata domin girman jirgin kawai wani jirgin ya saurata wasu su ce abu ɗan karami in ka zo ka kalla jirgin sai ka ji zuciyarka ya sinke to ka gani
kuma jirgin ka shiga cikin ma daban ne in ka shiga sai ka ci kamar kawai zuciyarka zai ranka zai fita ta baki
yawwa wani wanda bai taba shiga jirgi ba to haka ne yake to haka ne yana da kyau sosai sannan kuma muna kyautata tsammanin da a yi ne a ce kun gani cewa an je hajji din lafiya an dawo lafiya za ka samu wasu a hajji din ma za su je su fada wani tag da aka ba shi wanda kullum ya kamata yana tare da shi zai je fada akwai abubuwa da yawa amma yin constituting committee kamar haka ko team zai rage wasu abubuwa sosai don ganin cewa an je hajji din lafiya an dawo lafiya to wannan abin da ya faru kenan.
We are happy that this team has been set up to actually put people through, especially especially when it comes to going for Hajj. This committee with Quantizin as the head, they're supposed to put people through, especially when it's time to go to for Hajj, right? They're supposed to, there are a lot of challenges that these people encounter. Some are first timers and they need guide on how to go about it from the moment they leave this state up until when they get to their destination and then coming back. So that's that. Now, moving forward, Shetima will have to brush through some of the major national headlines that we have not touched earlier. Now, Senate passes Tinubu's tax reform bills. The Nigerian Senate has approved all four of President Bola Tinubu's proposed tax reform bills, marking a significant step in the administration's economic restructuring effort. ABGA endorses Tinubu for 2027 presidential election. The All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, has officially adopted President Tinubu as its candidate for 2027 presidential election. This is signaling a notable political alliance. All right, moving forward, Nigeria clears IMF debt. The Nigerian government has fully repaid its outstanding debt to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, thereby exiting the list of the organization's debtors. Now, this is Nigeria clearing its debt with IMF Shetima, but well, it's a good move. It's actually a good move. You have to match the Obashi. It's a manner you're paying back. Not sure. Nigeria has cleared to be abashing the yes, IMF, IMF AKB was to International Monetary Fund. So you collect bashi from here and here. So we have cleared one. How many more to go? I do not know, but I'm sure even China. But then, if you check it, Shetimo, if you check it very well, I don't think I've ever felt at a point that Nigeria was making effort to clear any debt on our head, because we keep collecting loan here, we keep collecting and all the time. Like, now, when will we hear that Bunabia instead of we are collecting? And then someone did the mathematics of all the bash that Anna did in Nigeria. Like I say, oh, the Indians are and Nigeria, kaza. Let's say me, but you was bele amangashi. So you see, we have bashi here and there, and then it's actually a good move that we are just letting. We were just seeing that Nigeria has cleared one out of how many? I do not know, but I know we still have China on our net, and then 2 other places, maybe World Bank there. Sooner than last bashi. But then that is actually a good move. IMF cleared, done and dusted. I hope we don't have to go back for any reason to collect anything as we have moved forward. Forward ever, backward never. All right, moving forward, INEC yet to decide on PDP Labour Party leadership crisis. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has stated that it has not made a decision regarding the leadership disputes within the People Democratic Party, PDP, and the Labour Party. Once that we here and then. Now, court admits contested documents in Yaya Bello's case. A federal high court in Abuja has admitted a document that the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, attempted to block in the ongoing case against former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello. Anyway, on education now, I jam, but some other people also but I am jam. So jam to release 2025 UTME results today. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAM has announced that the results for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME will be released. You see, over the years, I don't know. We used to have, I don't think we've had, in time past, we used to hear mass failure. Almost everybody failed. But these days, I don't know, Shetima, if you can link these failures to anything. Is that when you hear that, okay, I examined Waye, Uneko, or JAM, and then there's mass failure. What's the first thing that comes to your mind as the cause of this?
Gaskiya akwai lalacewar ilimi a Najeriya. Don kin san da a lokacin mu ana samun yanayi ana dan faduwa amma ana dan ci amma dai kuma lokacin harkar ilimi bai taɓa mai sosai ba amma yanzu abubuwa sun lalace bere sosai sun lalace kuma baya from secondary school za ki samu kayan malaman da suke karantarwa wasu ba su yi zaɓi su karantarwa amma dai kawai su rasa aiki su ne su karɓa aikin karantarwa ne haifar dole ne za ka samu wani na jami'in CDT ana a kwamfuta ake rubutawa so duk yadda mutum yake son ka in ka faɗi da kwamfuta bai san ka ba zai ce ka faɗi in ka ci kuma ka ci so gaskiya abun ne akwai koma baya harkar ilimi a Najeriya baki.
True, especially now that technology has taken over. Everybody is always on phone. Do people visit the libraries? I don't even know if students go to libraries.
No, hardly.
And so I think this has actually taken a toll on education in Nigeria. These days, it's all phone, it's all TikTok, it's all social media. We don't tend to read books again. We don't tend to read textbooks. And then there's no patronage when it comes to buying of books for this generation. Probably those ahead of us, those that are older than us, still go and get these books and read. But even at that, just few people still are still on the reading culture. But reading culture has drastically reduced these days among students. We're all about every other thing except reading. So all this mass failure can be, and then the issue of expo has actually taken over. These days we don't even read again because we give an example with Wayek and Neko, because we have a miracle. The miracle centers all littered around, so nobody cares to read. Then there were no miracle centers. What you write is what you get. But these days,
that's a miracle center.
That's a miracle center, and before you know it, you have your grades and you're good to go. So that is that. We just hope that education can be given attention to in Nigeria. Let's try and bring these young ones back to reading culture and studying culture, so that we'll have a better nation. Because this says a lot. These results, these outcomes of this exam says a lot about how the future will be. So that's that. Anyway, moving forward to politics and governance, Tinubu affirms commitment to Southeast development. President Tinubu has reiterated his administration's commitment to the development of Nigeria's Southeast region, promising to integrate it into the federal government economic plans. Also, presidential jet sent to South Africa for upgrades. The Nigerian presidential jet has been flown to South Africa for refurbishment and upgrades, with maintenance costs reportedly reaching to 20.3 billion naira between July 2023 and December 2024. I don't know if you had this headline very well. We are sending out jets out to South Africa for it to be fixed. What happened to us?
Nigeria,
20.3 billion between July 2023 to December 2024. Look in the Akatura. Because this money is not coming back to Nigeria. We are giving South Africans to maintain, to upgrade the presidential jet. Do we have any persons or any committee or any individuals? Don't we have them in Nigeria that can actually do this work? So we do not, even us, even the federal government does not trust its people when it comes to. Even us, we does not trust ourselves.
And you budgeting 10 billion solar panels a villa.
If this 10 billion is being diverted to electricity, I think that's a manner.
So that I standardizing electricity.
Yes.
Electricity supply.
But if in Aso Rock they are planning to put solar, Shatima, need a who are we? Who are we? If a presidential jet can be jetted out of the country for maintenance or to be refurbished, it don't be for us now. It don't be for us. Wani wuri a
very bad abunda ba za ki samu a Najeriya ba. It's just that maybe wannan mutumin ne ko wannan mutanen din ba su samu support wanda za a yi pushin nasu su ma su zama abin da za su zama ba, amma ba abin da babu a Najeriya. Kina neman competent hands a kowane sector, kowane sector za ki samu a Najeriya, ko ma mene kawai wani yana jiran little push.
Yes. And then the environment, we all Nigerians need is a conducive environment and a supportive government, and they will do fine. If you check, for instance, you hear about medical doctors outside Nigeria. If they mention the doctors, you find out, not be Nigerian name it is. Nigerians tend to strive when they move out of the country, especially the intelligent, very intelligent ones, the brainy ones. Once they move, in Nigeria, you feel as if they're not even doing very well. You feel, this one is a dull person. Until they step out of this country, and then there's a conducive environment, there's somebody who's giving attention to strive when it comes to their area of specialty. Then you find out that, not be this person where I know for Nigeria. Why can't they do better like this? So sometimes I think if the government would actually make our environment more conducive for us to actually learn, we will do better. Now, this is discouraging for anybody who is into, let's say, anybody who can be able to actually fix this jet, and then he sees this jet being flown to South Africa to be fixed. In his mind, like, Nigeria don't have a place for me. And you find out that this person will find way and travel out of the country. Before you know it, same Nigeria will carry jet and go to wherever this person is. To find out, there's a Nigerian on the team, and so we have a lot of talent. All we need is just a little push and then a little support from the government, and then we are good to go. Now, moving forward, legal and regulatory, court dismisses multi-choice suit over price hike. Nigeria, it's been over 4 months. I've not subscribed by DSTV. Shetima. There must be addition in our DSTV. So the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by Multi-Choice Nigeria Limited, which sought to uphold recent price increases for its DSTV and GoTV service. Mungaji, if you go to their page now, if you see any update, you see Nigerians under it, and then I don't know, this hike is only peculiar to Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria that they are hiking this. Even their countries, it's not as difficult as this. So since come on answer left, right, and center. But then this is it now on the international scene. We have already discussed this from the beginning of this breakfast show. But then, first American elected as Pope in a historic development. The conclave has elected Robert Francis Prevost as the first American Pope succeeding the late Pope Francis. Well, these are many more stories are on the front pages of the newspapers in Nigeria today. If you want to read more of it, if you want to check more of it, you can go to the newspaper stand and get it for yourself and read more. But as for me and my colleague here in the studio, this is where we have to draw the curtain for today, because it seems time. We are racing against time. Every time is racing against us, whichever one. So, from my Haske here from our studios, this is where we have to say goodbye. We wish you a very happy Friday. For our Muslim brothers, Chetin will be going to pray. Make sure you pray for us. Pray for Nigeria. A lot is happening, and the ordinary Nigeria is going through a lot. From me, very clear to say goodbye.